All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of hashtag CB99 Talks. I'm Combo Breaker 99. Got a special guest on the line with me today. She has a fight coming up in 2 days. She's going to be opening up the Invicta FC 40 card. Let's welcome the undefeated Genia Goodin. Gina, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, so how's training been going?
Training went really well for this fight. Down here so far in Kansas City, we've been quarantined to our room pretty much the entire time that we've been here since Sunday. So training's still going good, but it's been a little different this time around. Like, we don't really have the mat space or the mat time that we were allowed last time. And being quarantined to the room, you don't really have much room in a hotel room. But other than that, like, training went well for the fight before I got here, and it's still going good. So.
Okay, sounds good. So like even like during the whole quarantine, have you been trying your best to just try to stay physically fit and just stay in that mind frame in case somebody calls?
Yeah, that was the idea. I try to outwork the competition during the quarantine. I didn't really take any time off or slow down at all. Like, I always kept training. So.
Okay. Now during like the time before that, I noticed you had a little bit of inactivity there. Like, was there any just like hold up with them giving you a call to try to get you a fight even before the whole lockdown we were on?
Yeah, we were in contact with them a little bit, and I was really busy with school. I was still training full time, but couldn't really make the trip for fight week and all the things that come along with coming down here to fight for Invicta. But I didn't really slack up with training or anything like that, so I was still actively training. Like, I was inactive, obviously, with not having fights and competition and stuff coming up like that, but I was still training, so.
Okay, that sounds good. Like, it's still good to stay sharp. Now, I became familiar with you. I seen you make your debut through Invicta, and I've also, like, during my downtime, I watch YouTube a lot, just like different fights, and I've seen some of your amateur fights too, and I saw you were undefeated as an amateur. So my question to you is like, when did you get into like fighting and feel like this is what I want to do with as far as a career? Like, what started what got you in that mind frame to say I want to be a fighter?
Well, my husband had fought before I started fighting. Like, he was an amateur fighter for a long time, and I kind of just would go to his fights and watch him fight and see everyone else fight, and you're in the crowd and your blood's going and you're like, I want to fight too. So thought I would try it, and tried it out, and just kind of wanted to do one and just see what it was like, just to say that I'd done it. But after that one, we got offered another one, and I just kept winning. So I was like, I'm just going to keep doing this until I can just see what all happens. Like, I didn't really plan to go pro or make money doing it. Like, I just started to do it for fun, and then it just kind of happened for me.
Yeah, it was like a bug that bit you, right? Because I see like some people, they come to see their families fight, and they think the opposite. They're like, you can't get me in the ring. But it was like the opposite with you, huh? You was like, get me in the ring or get me in the octagon.
Yeah, I was really excited. It was really exciting just to be there, and I was like, I want to do this. So
that's that was a good mind frame. I mean, you knew that you kept winning. It was like, I might as well do this for a living, right?
Yeah.
So this fight coming up this Thursday, how did that go about? Like, is Invicta kind of doing this on the low? Were they just kind of working out like a process to actually put a fight card together? Or did they just kind of call you at the last minute, like, hey, Jenny, you want to fight?
Yeah, it was like a last minute thing for them. I think they really didn't know when they were going to be able to like put a fight card together. So like, we didn't, we weren't aware. We didn't have a full camp or anything. It was like 3 weeks out when we got the offer. So it's kind of last minute. I'm pretty much always in shape and ready to start a fight camp, or I don't have to start from scratch or anything like that. So my coach knew where I stood and just decided, yeah, we could do this. So
okay,
just took the fight.
Well, yeah, that's good. I mean, I've seen a lot of boxing's been coming back. UFC has been really consistent with their fights, and they've been going into this new, precaution right now with no audience. Do you think that'll have any effect on you, or not having an audience there?
Yeah, I think it will definitely be different, but maybe in a good way for me, because I don't know, sometimes the audience kind of just like deters what you really are actually there to do. But I think it'll be good to just be like me and her, our corners, and just, I still know that everyone's going to be watching at home. So the only downfall is like we couldn't really bring anyone with us, just one corner, and that was it. So my family couldn't come, my husband didn't get to make it, so not having them here is a little different. But I think the fight will still be, I think it'll be better for me anyway. Like, I don't really like all the crowd things anyhow, so I'm in a crowd there. I can't say I'm gonna like it better, but I feel like it's gonna be fine. Like, I don't think it's gonna be like bad for me or anything like that.
Right. You can still perform without them, right?
Yeah, because I've kind of in a way, like, once I get in there, it's just me and her anyway. Like, I don't really, the crowd's kind of not there until it's over with, so I don't think it'll make a difference that if there's a crowd or not.
Mm-hmm. So when you say they're only allowing one corner, does that mean you're gonna have one person in your corner?
Yep, that's all we were allowed to bring with us at all. So, and that's all we're allowed to take to the fight with us. Like, when they flew us up here, it's just me and my one corner. So that's all they were allowing us to bring. Like, we thought we would have two corners and stuff, but we didn't find that out until after, we had signed the contract and everything, that we can only bring one corner.
Mm-hmm. Now,
so apparently how they're going to do the fights, I'm not really for sure, but like, after our fight's over, we're not even allowed to stay and watch. Like, they're going to put us on a van and bring us back to the hotel room. So like, we don't get to stay and be in an audience either. So.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Really? Wow.
Yeah, they're like going to take 3 fights over, the first 3 fights, and then after those 3 fights are over, they're bringing us back and then bringing 3 more fights in. So, yeah, we don't even get to stay, even though we've all been tested and everything. Like, we can't stay and watch the next bouts or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know, like, since boxing has came back, like, it's kind of a similar process. Like, when one fight's done, they have to get somebody in there and disinfect the whole ring now. And like, when fighters are done, they have to actually throw out their hand wraps and throw out the gloves. It's like considered bio waste. Like, do y'all have to do that too?
I'm not sure. They haven't said anything about doing that. Mm-hmm. So I don't think they're going to be like disinfecting the ring in between bouts. But who knows? Like, I don't know.
Right.
They haven't mentioned that to us. Mm-hmm. Like, I guess we'll get more details tomorrow when we actually weigh in, because we haven't really spoke to anyone. Like, there's only like one employee with Invicta that's actually here at the hotel right now. So we haven't really had contact with anyone. We're supposed to find everything else out tomorrow.
Okay. Now, Invicta, they've been around for about 8 years now, since like 2012. Like, being able to make your debut, your professional debut through them, like, what was your first reaction to that? Like, how did you get that call?
It was really intimidating at first. They were like, you're gonna go pro, but it's for Invicta. I'm like, okay, like, I'm gonna be fighting someone crazy good, and all the fights are gonna be against good competition in that promotion. So, not that I wanted to fight anyone, like, worse than me or anything like that. I just was like, I have to bring my A game now. So it really made me start taking training a little bit more serious, because like I said, as an amateur, it was just more like, I'm gonna do this for fun and take a fight here and there. Like, I had some layoffs as an amateur too. Mm-hmm. Like, I would fight sometimes 4 times a year, and then I would took a year off at one point, fought like 3 more times. Like, so I was just fighting for fun when I could, when I had time to dedicate fully to it. But, at this level, I feel like you can't just, half-ass it, if that makes sense. Like, you have to actually train properly and put your time in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it definitely makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you definitely want to stay dedicated to having like full fight camps, full training camps. Yeah, I definitely understand. So yeah, I can see where you feel like, oh yeah, it is intimidating because like I said, yeah, Invicta, they have fighters that go on to bigger and better things, and eventually, hopefully, you can too. But
Yeah, like they have fighters that go to the UFC, but like sometimes, they have fighters that come back from the UFC to here.
oh
So you could be fighting and that person that's already been there and done that. Like you never know who you're going to get next. So especially if you keep winning.
oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Let me ask you this too, like a lot of people they always think of the main event or the co-main event. They always think of that, and it puts a lot of pressure on the fighters. But like, do you feel any pressure having to open the card?
Well, the last time my fight was the first fight as well, and I felt a lot of pressure that time. But having done it before, like I was actually really happy to get it over with and not be like sitting back there and waiting. Because I've like at this point, like I've been in this hotel room since Sunday waiting to fight. So I'm ready to just get it over with, and so I'm really happy to be the first fight this time. So
Yeah,
don't really like to be, back there just, especially like I've been the co-main or the main event a lot as an amateur, so just seems like the night lasts forever and everyone's already done, and kind of in a way like you almost get over it. You're just, or I do, I'm just like, I'm over this. Like I've been here forever. I want to get it over with. So I think being the first fight's good.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, because it's like, yeah, like you say, you just want to get in there. Don't give like yourself time to like second guess yourself. Just go in there and do what you're prepared to do. Yeah,
because like you see fighters coming back from their fight, and like you can tell automatically if they have won or lost, like just by the look on their face.
Right.
And you can't but think like, how am I going to come back into this locker room? So just seeing it happen over and over, bout after bout, like I'd rather just get it over with than not have to worry about it.
Right. Yeah, I definitely see that. So also, you said you've been at the hotel since Sunday, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely understand why you're ready to get it over with. But what gym are you training out of right now?
I train out of Shield Systems in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Okay. How'd you link up with that gym?
Well, I was training in Kentucky. That's where I live. I actually drive over an hour and a half to get to the gym right now. So that's pretty much every day. But I was just training in Kentucky and at a really small jiu-jitsu gym, and it just wasn't MMA oriented enough for me. So I kind of ventured out to look for a really good MMA gym, and that's the gym I found. I tried a couple out. But I've been with them for a year and a half now, and I don't really think I'm going to go anywhere anytime soon. So.
Okay. Well, that's dedication. You drive over an hour and a half. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Your opponent you're facing, Shelby Corin. She's also undefeated. Do you know much about her?
No, I actually had never heard of her until they offered the fight, and then we looked her up on YouTube. But no, I don't really know anything about her other than what her fights show on YouTube. And she's she had tagged me in some stuff on Instagram, and just it's kind of just really weird. I don't know. She's a different opponent. I haven't faced anyone who's outside of the cage as weird. I don't know. She sent me a picture of her in a Halloween mask and was saying she was a nightmare for me, and she was the sexiest thing I've ever fought. And I'm it's just super weird. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. That.
It was kind of trash talking, but just in a very awkward way for me. So, and I've been here, I guess she's here too, but where we've been so quarantined, I haven't even seen her yet. So I still kind of don't really know anything about her at all. But I guess I will see her tomorrow when we weigh in, but it's still going to be kind of social distance is what I the way I take it that they say. So
Yeah.
I don't know why we have to do that considering we're going to fight anyway. But yeah.
So that's something kind of new to you, having another fighter trying to present like a intimidation tactic on you. Like you never faced that really
Yeah,
in
I mean,
amateur, huh?
I've had people like say things to me or like tag me and stuff where they're coaches or just something like that. So that's not really new. It's just
Hmm.
it's just kind of weird coming from her. I don't know.
That's fine.
But yeah, I think it's like an intimidation thing that she does with other opponents that
Hmm.
she feels like had worked in the past or something. But I just kind of let her know that it doesn't really, oh, don't fall into that. Like, I'm not going to get into a social media war with her because we're going to fight regardless. Like,
Right.
it's not like I have to say something to make her fight me or make her mad. Like, we're going to fight each other anyway. So,
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's all going to come down to what goes on in the octagon. That's right.
yeah.
So, you mentioned going to school. Like, what's a day in life for Gina right now? Like, how do you manage school? Like, what's a regular day for you?
Well, with the quarantine stuff, actually allowed me to train a lot more, like, because I didn't have to worry about school as much because we went online. But when I am in school, I have 3 kids who are also in school.
Hmm.
So I would take my kids to school, go to school myself, tried to make my classes as early as possible. So I'd get out like 1, something like that, pick my kids up from school, spend a little time with them, and then I would have to leave and go to the gym. And I normally am there for like 3 hours. And then I get home and get them in bed, and then that's pretty much my day when I'm in school.
Hmm.
So I think that's why we took the fight like this summer, because I don't have to worry about school right now. I could focus strictly on the fight. Like my kids aren't in school, so just made a lot of sense to fight, while I didn't have everything to worry about. Because I have fought before and had like finals that same week, and it's just a lot of extra stress.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Like, that's another thing. Like, how do you stay into that mindset? Or do you have to like turn one off and turn on the other when it comes to fighting in school? Like, how did you manage that?
Yeah, and like being a mom, like it's hard to, be motherly with your kids and stuff, and then you have to go to the gym and like turn the switch to something else to be like
Hmm.
aggressive with people.
Right.
And then you go to school and you're like, okay, I'm smart now. Like, I don't have to
Hmm.
be tough here. So,
Hmm.
yeah, it's like constantly like a roller coaster of just having to, change kind of how you're thinking.
Hmm. Well, I definitely gotta give you a lot of respect for that. Because that takes a lot. Not only are you a student, but being a mom too, and being able to provide in each category. Each category. So I
Yeah,
definitely give you a lot
like
of respect.
sometimes it is hard. Like if you have a bad day at the gym, or you lose a fight and you come home, like your kids have missed you. They're happy to see you. You're happy to see them. But at the same time, it's kind of hard. It's hard for them to understand what you just went through or what you're going through, because they don't really care about that because they're kids. So you have to like shut off your emotion and be like, I didn't just get my ass handed to me or whatever, and be all happy, to be happy, like not let them see you be broken.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, I've been beat a lot in the gym, or like had a lot of bad days where I couldn't do anything right, and then come home and it'd be really hard to transfer that negative energy into like positive energy for them. So,
Hmm.
yeah, it's difficult.
What's your one thing that you do to just try to get away from it all? Like as a fighter, what do you try to do? Like that one thing to kind of help you release your stress.
Well, I think that just spending time with my husband and my kids is the most important stress reliever.
Hmm.
But like where I do drive over an hour, like an hour and a half to and from training, like I feel like that's the time that I use to like get into the mindset. Like on my way to training, sometimes I'll get bored and be like watching videos on my phone while I'm driving about fighting, or like what I'm gonna do at training, or think about getting in that training mindset. And then on the way home, try to think about, okay, I'm gonna be a parent now. I have to get back into that mindset and just forget about everything that happened at training for a second and not sit there and dwell on what I did wrong. Like, I have a lot of time to think about it before I get home so that I can just get it out of the way and deal with it in my mind and then put it past me or whatever, you know?
Oh, yeah, I understand. Definitely, yeah.
So that little drive is kind of like, it's a good thing for me in a way.
Yeah. Kind of, yeah, definitely a chance to just kind of be, it's like another form of alone time, you know?
Yeah.
So, having 3 kids, like, has your kids, like, what's their reaction to you fighting? Do they, like, want to fight themselves? Or are they kind of influenced by that? Or do some of them kind of say, oh, why are you fighting, Mom?
They think it's cool that I fight, but they haven't really expressed wanting to fight themselves. Like, my oldest is 10, and he started going to boxing a little bit this summer, and he likes it, but he hasn't mentioned, like, wanting to fight or anything like that, so. But they definitely like training, and they like to fight each other because they're mean, but other than that, like, but as far as me fighting, I think they get nervous, so I tell my parents or my husband, I'm like, don't let them watch the fight, just tell them, but as they've gotten older, like, they want to watch, so, but, you know, they haven't seen me get very beat up or damaged like some people, you know, experience, and I'm sure I will before too long, but they haven't seen that yet, so I don't really know, like, the reaction. Like, they haven't had to deal with Mommy losing really bad or anything like that. Like, it's always, Mommy won, so... I think that makes me fight harder because I don't want to face them and be like, you know, I don't want them to see me get viciously, like, bloodied up or something like that and then come home and I don't want them to be worried about me.
Yeah, I understand. So,
because, you know, as a fighter, like, you're like, it doesn't really hurt. Like, you're fine. Yeah. Like, you can get KO'd and be completely fine, but to your family, they're like, oh my gosh, like, they freak out.
Yeah.
And I just don't want them. I'm like, I'm fine. Don't worry about me, you know.
So you probably would never let them come to a fight, maybe until they got a little bit older.
Well, they did actually come to one of my amateur fights, but they dealt with it really well. I could hear them in the crowd, though. Like, there was a lot of people there, and I could hear my youngest son crying, and I thought he was crying because I was fighting. But at the end of the day, it turned out he was crying because he got his legs stuck in the bleacher and couldn't get out.
Oh, wow.
So it freaked me out more than, like, I was, like, in there, like, fighting so hard. I was like, I gotta finish this fight. Like, my baby wants me. But he was just crying because he wasn't paying attention to the fight whatsoever and, like, got his foot stuck in the bleacher and was, like, freaking out. So,
oh, wow.
But it was, like, I could hear my kids cry over anyone else in there. Like, I knew it was him. So I was like, I didn't like them being there because of that.
So he sounds like he was in more trouble than you were.
Yeah, and he was just like 3. So
okay.
I'm like thinking he's crying because he's scared for me or doesn't know what's happening to me, but he wasn't even watching. So
okay, so this coming Thursday. You know, like I said, you being able to open up the Invicta card. What's your mission now? How do you plan on making that statement when you get in the octagon?
I just feel really anxious because I've been waiting for a while to fight again, or the right time to fight again, and I've been waiting in this hotel room. Like, I just want to get in there and get it over with. I want to be aggressive and look to finish the fight at any second. Like, I don't want to let any opportunities pass. I don't want to drag it out into a decision if I don't have to. Like, I just want to get in there, be aggressive, and get it over with.
Okay. And last question for you, Gina. As a fighter, what's your main goal? What's the big picture that you see as you being a fighter?
I feel like everyone always says make it to the UFC or Bellator or something like that. Right now, my goal is to win this fight and then just see what comes next. So I'm going to take it one fight at a time. Like, right now, the only goal I have is to win this fight on Thursday. But after that, the goal will be to win the next fight, and then the next fight, and then we'll just see what offers come. But the goal's always going to be, no matter where I'm fighting or who I'm fighting, it's just that the goal will be to win the fight, you know?
Oh, yeah, I understand.
So I think I just take it one fight at a time.
Hey, that's how we do with life. You got to take it one step at a time. Don't jump too far ahead. So I respect that, definitely. So, Gina, thanks for taking the time out. Like I said, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but before you go, can you let everybody know where they can follow you at?
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook or Instagram at Genia Goodin, and my name is spelt Genia. I know that's really weird, but that's where they can find me.
Okay. Yeah, I was pronouncing it Genia to myself like earlier. I was like, oh, gotta call up Genia. But then then I saw a weigh-in where the guy called you Gina. I was like, okay, it's Gina. All right.
Yeah, I'm like, people always kind of think it's something else. But I'm like, yeah, it's just Gina. It's just spelled a little funky.
And what time is the card?
I'm really not sure. I think it's 7 p.m. Central Time here. I don't know where you're located, but...
Oh, I'm on Eastern Time, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So, okay. It's hard for me to get the times because I'm normally on Eastern Time, too. But on the Fight Pass app right now, it says 7 p.m., but I think it's because I'm in the Central Time Zone, so I think it's 8 p.m. for you guys.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll be tuning in on that app because I actually have it. So, yeah, again, thanks for taking the time out, Gina, and don't be a stranger anytime you want to come back on. If you got another fight coming up, just, hey, I'll just hit you up if you want to come back on, and good luck.
Thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, just keep an eye out, and if you don't message me, I'll message you.
All right, sounds good. And
okay.
And be safe. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.